is the Next With series powered by Verve, where we talk with the leading minds in marketing, the biggest minds in marketing, and in this case, the most creative mind in marketing, I think I will say, because my guest is Frank Olma. He is Executive Creative Director at EssenceMediacom, and we'll get to that right there because I speak about creativity in advertising. There needs to be creativity in marketing, creativity in advertising again, but also the balance between brand and performance. How do you balance that in the work you do with the clients you're working with?
Yeah, great question. Because first of all, we're client-centric. So we take everything the client needs and consider like the brand purpose. Like where do they have to go? What do they have to sell? And then creativity infuses everything. We come in with creative solutions because otherwise the client could ask anybody, like the marketing department, so on. So they come to us to help them fulfill their needs, fulfill their goals, reach their goals. So in the end, it's like a mixture. So we have to take a look at the figures, at brand, at everything, and then we have to infuse it with creativity. Otherwise, it would be only like some strategic marketing thinking.
I get that totally. I'm with you on that, Frank, but that's it. You have to look at the numbers. We're back to performance.
Absolutely.
And I'm hearing more brands, more marketers speak about, yes, we have to have performance, but if we invest in brand, if we work on our brand and have it a brand message that resonates, that will have an impact deeper down in the funnel and also on the budget. How are you speaking about that with your clients? Are they realizing a strong brand can also pay dividends?
Absolutely. We are lucky enough at EssenceMediacom to have like big brands like Google, Coca-Cola, just one Ionity, like a great client who is like they're in the fields of EV, vehicle, European supporting like the EV revolution. So they are just starting off. So we're starting off with a campaign and they have to sell and they have to represent themselves in the market talking to clients, like to the customers in the end. And if we take a look at the brands, some brands are already there. So there's no need to invest in branding and so on. Take a example like Coca-Cola, they're quite big. But they still invest in branding because they know we have such a strong brand like Coca-Cola or Mars, and we can still make use of our brand because otherwise we would see a decline. If we don't invest like in brand, in branding, in creativity. On the other side, we have to measure like the figures. We have to see, is there a rise in sales? So if the campaign is out, everyone is happy. Oh, that's such a creative
performance.
Yeah, the performance marketing. And if we see, oh, there's like something, there's like a shift in performance, we have to check, why is that? Maybe it's like the creative side, maybe there are other reasons.
But also on the flip side, campaigns can perform extremely well if you get the mix right. And a lot of companies, a lot of marketers are looking at channels beyond the usual suspects. Where do you see the opportunities moving on in out of home, CTV, all the different channels?
Yeah.
What mix are you seeing?
Yeah. It's more like, where do people see content? Like on the black screens, of the small pocket screens, on the big screens, out of home screens. CTV is one thing. And we try to come up with like innovative, new creative ways, which we will see in the near future because some are like still in development. But there's one way I see like the gaming industry, which happens, of course, on mobile and on the big screen. And I see like games like Elden Ring, which I'm a fan of, like fantasy genre, strategic games. They marketeers and CMOs, they hesitate to invest in games. It's not like they have to appear in the game because sometimes it's not possible if it's like a medieval game and you have a modern brand, there's like a clash. But how about empowering the community, setting up panels? Gamers, they meet at Gamescom or at other panels. So there's something in it.
Frank, it makes total
Exactly.
sense.
And I saw, because we had the chance to work for one of our clients, Shell, the oil company, and we had a great campaign, 2 campaigns for League of Legends, where we came up with like own songwriting, since I'm a musician as well, writing own song, soundtrack, do the filming and interact with the community, because gamers are special and they wonder like, why should we work with the oil company? What's happening? Why do they invade my game? But there is a chance to bring together like the purpose or like the agenda of an oil company, and also what's in for the gamers. And you can insert any other brand. So this is one field I see, the gaming industry, but of course arts and craft and music.
Yeah.
Of course there's Spotify, there are a lot of other vendors or other platforms, but we have to take a look at where do customers see their escapism. It's not like product placement. It's beyond all those things. So maybe it's not even advertising, it's something else. But this is like something I see beyond the TikToks and Meta and so on.
Another thing I'm hearing a lot about is that the publisher is in a way the new audience, because you said to yourself, what content are people looking at? That's where brands need to be. So you need to choose your presence very carefully, not just brand safety, but customer relevance as well.
Exactly. We have like a saying, customer centric, and is it of personal relevance, platform relevance, and somehow this is like the media relevance, because everyone could jump on, for example, on TikTok. Let's make a TikTok for a brand. Maybe, as you stated, TikTok is not the right channel for like a very conservative brand, or like a brand. Not every brand has to show up on TikTok, in my opinion, because we also like advise our clients. We say like, okay, there's a trend, the Barbie trend. Please don't do this. It's like, oh, it's too late or something.
Yes.
That's like, we don't have to do anything. It's like, oh, please, we want to happen on TikTok. We have to take a look and consider and think and put on a strategic, creative way. But in the end, maybe the outcome is, oh, let's do like a wonderful out-of-home campaign. Of course, people like to watch, like, I love classic advertising, of course. But there's so many fields to reach the audience. And that's the creative part. That's the interesting part.
So you're an excited person, Frank. I can hear it. What are you excited about when you look at the opportunities? But there are some standout, we won't call them channels, we'll call them interaction points, right, with the audience. What are some that stand out that maybe brands and marketers aren't making the most of?
It's not exactly only out of home, but the mixture. It's like social and ambience, as this genre was called. It's like, we had like a beautiful campaign also for Mars Wrigley's for the chewing gum extra. And we teamed up with a band. It's 01099. So it's like a German band. And they're quite successful, huge following. They went #1 in the charts as we came out with our campaign. And we set up 3 concerts, because we had the insight after COVID, the younger folks, like the Gen Z, they did not have enough money to afford going to a concert, to have this live experience. So Mars sponsored this concert, this experience, and thousands of people showed up. I was also attending one of the concerts. And is this advertising? Yeah, and I could jump on stage, and it was like a nice experience. People experienced the music and the sound, and they're fans of the band. And of course, somewhere the brand happens off and on stage. So if you enter the concert hall, there was like some branding and some giveaways and some goodies. So this was like a nice experience coming out of a strong insight and human needs. So this is like very strong. This is like resonating with the audience, and we get a direct response from the fans. And they're like, oh, this is so great. And we like, can I get tickets?
That's part of the brand. That touch point, it has to touch, right? Mind share, wallet share, heart share.
Yeah, and they shared content. Of course, they took pictures. Oh, we were at a beautiful venue, a nice concert, a nice experience.
Maybe you can give me an example of something where brand and performance are aligned.
Yeah.
And you saw great results.
Yeah, I can tell you.
The results always count. We are
I know. We're proud Effie winners.
Yeah.
So, put out some campaigns that performed well. It was out last year in December for Coca-Cola, and we set up Impossible Ad, and we did a fake fireworks show. Or to be exactly, it's like a fake drone show where you imagine the Cologne Cathedral, that iconic cathedral. And there's a Christmas market. And on that Christmas market, people showed up and they're like, oh, what's happening there? And a gargantuan Santa Claus, the iconic Coca-Cola Santa Claus, was displayed with drones. And then the Santa Claus, he morphed into like, everyone has to be a Santa. We wish everyone has to be your inner Santa. And you saw like the Coca-Cola logo, of course, and like a bauble showing Coca-Cola. So it was fitting to the campaign. And this was filmed. So the honest truth is, it was all fake. So we went to the cathedral, we filmed everything, but the rest was done in the box, in like the computer. So there were no drones because there are not drones allowed to fly high above the cathedral.
Yeah.
But people believed it because it was believable. And they saw the ad, and we pushed it on TikTok and we pushed it with paid on Instagram. We saw amazing results because the timing was right. It was the Christmas season.
Yeah.
It was somehow interesting. Oh, wow, Coca-Cola did it. It was believable for the brand. Oh, okay, who can pull this off? It's Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola company. So people were like, is this real? And some were commenting, oh no, it's fake, it's not allowed. There was like a comment, you're not allowed to show up with drones, but Coca-Cola can do it. Advertising is everywhere, so nobody was harmed, no animals, nobody. It was like a fake out of home. But this is like the interesting stuff, and the results were great.
We have to get to the question of also the strategy.
Yeah.
And the strategy now is different because the signals are different. However, there's always an upside. So yes, there is signal loss, but there are other signals, and there's more of a focus on contextual.
Yeah.
How are you and your clients, more importantly, dealing with the fact that yes, fewer signals, maybe more effort, but possibly more returns?
Yeah, that's where we get the help of the whole company, like the whole group M. Of course, they are brilliant minds.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to have set up a strategic team and also a tech department within my creative department. So we have tools, many tools, and sometimes we get data from the client.
Yeah.
And our task is to get to know the customers. So what do they need? What do they feel? Where are they going to? So, and this is like, sometimes it's a struggle because we don't have enough data, or we have lots of data, and then you have to filter it, narrow it down to the specific task. So if we want to sell more cars, to whom? Who will buy the cars? Is it like the next generation? Do they have the money? Where do we advertise? So lots of data. It's a task. It's a little bit, it's a big task. We struggle sometimes because the creative part is not so difficult, but to get all the data. And sometimes I have a campaign where I have a lack of data. So we invest in that field. We say like, okay, how can we learn for some like customers like in the pharmacy or something. So, and we don't have all the data. How can we get to the data? It's a task. It's like more like exploration
and also a partnership. It's a lot
it's
of
a partnership
with the different platforms, the different companies in the ecosystem, because we're all sort of in this together. What would you say to your peers, to maybe other brands and marketers? Where would you tell them to explore if they're just starting to think about the new opportunities, the new territory, and making a statement that has impact, as you said yourself, that the experiential impact as well?
What I experienced, and I would encourage everyone, is social listening. So there's a saying, if you want to study like the tiger, don't go to the zoo, go into the jungle. So of course, due to lack of time, we can't go into like a community and stay there like for half a year and live with people in different countries. But this is something researchers do, but not only on the scientific way, but also like maybe the advertising people, we have to go out into communities, we have to travel to experience other countries, because we are lucky enough to serve clients all over Europe, sometimes the whole world, but every culture is different. And if you go to Spain, if you go to northern Germany, it's different than the south. People have to listen to people, not like to see like all the figures. This is an experience I had through my whole campaign, whole career, to see and listen to people. And that get out of the agency, go on the street. So I used to go like, if I sell cars, I go like to the vendors and I go on the streets and listen to how are they talking about like the brands.
Or as you said, the other channels, talking about the streets, out of home, on the street.
Street knowledge.
Meeting people where they are. And you're talking about listening. I have to say, Frank, it has been a delight listening to you.
Thank you.
You have earned your reputation about crafting with creative mind and power. You are a force.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.